Education Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang has said the Ministry of Education and its state departments, in its effort to contribute to the mitigation of climate change disasters, are determined to plant 35 million trees this year. Speaking during the second regional conference on Wednesday, the 24th of May, themed Responding to Climate Change Through Land Governance, the Principal Secretary noted schools being the most affected when climate catastrophe occurs, like floods, where some school structures are destroyed and students are unable to go to school. The ministry has decided to transform the education sector from a victim to bringing solutions of climate change. Let's take a look. Education Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang directed the regional conference themed Responding to Climate Change Through Land Governance on Wednesday, the 24th of May 2023.
Head of Public Sector, National Bank.
Speaking during the event, the Principal Secretary said the Ministry of Education and its state departments, in its effort to contribute to the mitigation of climate change disasters, are determined to plant 35 million trees this year, and further noted schools being most affected when climate catastrophes occur, like floods, when some school structures are destroyed and some students are unable to go to school. The ministry has decided to transform the education sector from a victim to bringing solutions of climate change.
Ministries and agencies are expected to plant 1 million trees as part of this particular campaign. The Ministry of Education, through its three state departments, is expected to plant 35 million trees this year. And it is also expected to propagate 200 million seedlings. As ministry, we are focused on meeting this particular set objective.
In an effort to mitigate climate change crisis, the ministry made several proposals, including the introduction of steam cookers in Kenyan schools to reduce the use of wood fuels in schools, among other recommendations.
So once again, we have put in place measures to ensure that we make use of the ministry's institutional framework that runs all the way to our school levels in achieving this particular objective. We are also implementing the school carbon offset project. Under this program, we have piloted what we call steam cookers in our schools in Kenya. We are also in discussion with our partners to upscale this particular program across our schools. We are also working with the Ministry of Energy to reduce the use of wood fuels in our schools.
Kenya's economy is largely dependent on tourism and rain-fed agriculture, both susceptible to climate change and extreme weather events. Increasing heat and recurrent droughts contribute to severe crop and livestock losses, leading to famine, displacement, and other threats to human health and well-being. The country's predominantly low-lying coastline and surrounding islands are at risk from sea level rising, with significant implications from the fisheries sector and storm surge protection. Agriculture is the leading source of greenhouse emissions in the country, largely driven by anaerobic fermentation from livestock. Climate change threatens to adversely affect economic growth in Kenya and endangers the country's becoming prosperous country with a high quality of life for its all citizens. The cumulative impacts of climate change over the next 3 decades have potential to reverse much of the progresses made towards attainment of the Millennium Development Goals, now Sustainable Development Goal Vision 2030. Climate change threatens to adversely affect economic growth in Kenya and endangers the country's becoming a prosperous country with a high quality of life for all its citizens. The cumulative impacts of climate change over the next 3 decades have the potential to reverse much of the progresses made towards the attainment of the Millennium Development Goals, now Sustainable Development Goals, and Vision 2030.